the wealthy people keep getting wealthier and the poor and middle class continue to suffer because they go down a different road than we do. And I've turned off onto that road. I'm not going down that road anymore. Let's get the definition of wealth straight. Let's get on the same page. This is the best definition of wealth that I have ever seen. Wealth is measured by the number of days you can survive without working or anyone else in your household physically working and still maintain or increase your standard of living. So, when my children were in Christian school, before the Christian school kicked them out because the IRS came to talk to this Christian school and they got scared. And at the end of that school year, we got a letter saying that they weren't invited back after being there 5 years. So you see how the IRS scares people? But that was the best thing because after that, we started in the homeschool network. And they were able to learn much more in that environment. When they were still in the Christian school, they got invited to a little party. And they got picked. I took them to the school on a Saturday at about 1 o'clock, and they got picked up in a limousine. And they went to this child's home, and they came back and said, "Mommy, they're rich because they have this and they have that, and they have a theater room." And I had to sit them down and say, "Sit down and let me explain to you about wealth. Just because people have stuff doesn't mean they're wealthy." And that little girl's mommy and daddy, they have a job. And they might be making a lot of money on the job, but if something happens on the job, within 3 months, that car's going to be repossessed, that furniture's going to be on the front lawn because that house will be foreclosed on. So just because people have stuff doesn't mean anything. But this is true wealth. You see the Oprahs and the Bill Gates and all, they never have to work a day in their life because they are in a position where they don't have to work, but they still have money coming in. So when people talk about wealth, think about this definition of wealth. Wealth is measured by the number of days you can survive without working or anyone else in your household physically working and still maintain or increase your standard of living. Let's work towards that. That's what I'm working towards. Yeah, this is important for us to understand true wealth because this is what wealthy people do. Even the people that I know of, for example, a lot of former professional athletes that are broke and going bankrupt. And they're doing that because when they were making the money, they had this big entourage and they were spending all this money and they went and bought $1 million house and all that, and nobody told them that you have to maintain that stuff. And see, they won't let me at these young boys. I wish I could get in their face. I wish I could get to these young boys and tell them, when you get the contract, that don't mean the whole family got rich. Okay? You bought your mama a house. I heard about one that bought his mama a house, and his grandma nagged him until he bought the grandma a house. I'm thinking, make her live with the mama. Okay? We have to get to the point where when we start making money, we don't lose our minds.